joining me now at the release of Kate Faulkner's report, I'm joined by Alan Ward, Chairman of the Residential Landlords Association, and good to see you as always, Alan. I think first of all a good place to start would be to say that because Kate's report is independent, I think it gives it a lot of credibility.
I would agree. And it's a very comprehensive report too, and I'm hoping that she's going to get a good distribution of it, because it's the right time, isn't it? You know, as somebody commented tonight, housing is very much a political topic, perhaps a political football, but it's crucial timing now to make sure that it gets into the political manifesto writers.
Absolutely. And you kind of gave a little overview of your thoughts. What were the kind of key things that you think the Kate's report delivered?
Well, the conclusion is that the private rented sector is, the future is, well, she says, she qualifies it, so it's fairly bright or something. I think it is very bright because the PRS is growing, and it's really only private investors who are providing the development and the houses which are needed. I mean, I've been at two events here today with the pressure on rents and all this talk about rent controls, and the answer can only be about increasing supply against the demand. So Kate's highlighting this and making a very good case for both private landlord investment and also corporate investment.
Absolutely. And I think also, you know, there's kind of trending topics at the moment, such as rent controls, and there's quite a robust debate on property tribes about it. And you yourself released a press release today saying that it could actually drive landlords out of the private rented sector. And, you know, it seems that people making some of these comments don't even understand the basics of supply and demand.
I think that's right. The RLA research said that over 60% of landlords would consider or definitely leave the market if rent controls came in. And we've got to remember what that really means. It's only 26 years since the 88 Act ended controlled rents, the regulated rents. There are still 40,000 of those in the country, and that is the evidence that any restraint on rents means a restriction for the landlord in their ability to maintain and look after that property. And of course, it's the ghost of Rachman, isn't it, in regulated rents?
Well, talking
we don't
of
want that at all.
No, and talking of Rachman, you know, it seems to me, because he's the archetypal evil landlord, but the fact is that the majority of landlords in this country are hard-working, decent people who've just got a couple or three properties to hedge their pension, and they provide a good service. We're only talking about the minority that are creating all these headlines and anti-landlord sentiment. So I think it's very important for us, property tribes, RLA, everybody here tonight, that we actually make sure that the right information gets out there.
It's true. There are 2 points really. First of all, that enforcement is absolutely essential. You can't have regulation without enforcement. It's just inert if it is.
It's a dog with no teeth.
All right, a dog with no teeth, yes. And then the contribution, as I mentioned in my speech, that the private sector has actually contributed 3 million new homes in the 26 years from 1986 to 2012. That's an enormous investment. Our investment now is worth over £900 billion.
Yeah.
And that's individual money. We haven't got the money in the state. We can't afford to build social housing. I know NHF and others are calling for that. And what would be very unfair is if they start to use their subsidised funding and their cheap terms of credit to enable them to build either for sale or for renting properties within the private rented sector. That's unfair competition.
Good point, good point. Well, great to have your input here tonight, Alan, as always. And we've been talking to Alan Ward, Chairman of the Residential Landlords Association, here at the Kate Faulkner report release.